What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Monday edition of the PrizePicks Prop Show here at FTNFantasy.com. My name is Zach Graham, aka Kawaisenberg DFS, ready to dive into tonight's three-game slate of playoff action in the NBA. We'll get to the tool here in a moment. Before we get started, just want to remind you of a few things first. Of course, if you have not signed up yet at PrizePicks, you can do so using the promo code FTN, and that will get you a 100% deposit match bonus up to $100. And of course, you can build similar, if not the exact same plays we talk about here at Underdog Fantasy. So if you haven't signed up yet with Underdog, scan that QR code that's on the screen right now. That same promo code FTN will get you a 100% deposit match bonus up to $100 at Underdog Fantasy. And if you haven't downloaded the Sleeper app yet, check this out. Same promo code, deposit match bonus up to $500 over at Sleeper. So take advantage of any of those opportunities. Build your bankroll. Take that free money that these sites are giving out. And then head over to FTN Fantasy. Again, we talked about last week the updated pricing that we've got here after the rebrand at FTN Fantasy. You can get VIP Plus access for $299.99 for a full year. And what that is going to include is access to all of our content and all of our tools here at FTN Fantasy. That's going to give you all of the betting models, the DFS projections, the advanced stats, and access to all three of our Discord servers, where you will find the Pick'em Games channel, where every day after this stream, myself, Alex Blickel, Chris Meany, Kenneth Lee, all of the experts here at FTN dropping plays into that Pick'em Games channel. So we're going to talk NBA here, of course, when I'm on the stream, but we'll get some MLB picks in there. I know I already see some hockey picks. There's some MLB picks from Kenneth in there as well. So make sure you join up here at FTN Fantasy. Again, VIP Plus, just $299.99 for the full year. I have to imagine that's one of the best values in the industry, but we'll leave all of that self-promotion in the background. Let's jump in to this slate tonight and head to the tool at FTN Fantasy. And I want to start here with Game 4 of OKC and New Orleans. Pelicans facing elimination here, down 3-0 in the series. And it's really a bummer that Zion Williamson got hurt. Not because I think that all of a sudden New Orleans would win this series. But I think we would likely get more than 4 games, and I'm always a fan of more basketball, especially in the playoffs. The Pelicans just don't have enough firepower offensively with Williamson sideline, but these guys aren't just going to quit here, especially at home. So I'm looking at a few CJ McCollum props here this morning, and McCollum has led the Pelicans in usage through these first 3 games of the first round, but his efficiency from the field just hasn't shown up. During the regular season, his shooting splits were 45, 43, 83, and again, it hasn't shown up in this series, shooting just 38, 23, 100, but that 100 from the free throw line, just 2 free throw attempts through 3 games, but the volume is there from a shot attempts standpoint, and the model likes both 19.5 points and 2.5 made threes, likes more than selections on both of those. So if I'm going to choose between the two, I prefer that 3-pointers made prop. So that's going to be my first pick of the day here. We get CJ McCollum, more than 2.5 3-pointers made. CJ averaged 3.6 made threes per game this year. And again, 43% from 3 during the season. And of course, he's struggling with this OKC defense, which of course the defense also ratchets up in the playoffs. So the combination of J-Dub and Cason Wallace and to a lesser extent Lou Dort guarding CJ this series, they have done a bang-up job, but I think these lines are low enough again. And the FTN data model has CJ for around 4 made threes here today. So I'm just going to do this live. I did not see a demon earlier this morning, but if there's a demon on CJ McCollum, and there is at 3.5 made threes, if you want to ratchet up your payout on PrizePicks, that should put you at 38x if you put that into a 6-pick flex play. So I don't hate that demon either, and I think I'm going to have to sneak one of those in here after the stream. So again, want to remind you, if you're tuned in watching live, drop a comment in that YouTube chat. We can definitely talk about any props that any of y'all have your eyes on. I see the GOAT, Alex Blickel, in here. Needs a six out of 6 to heal his broken Sixers heart. And I know I just saw on Twitter, Alex not too happy about people starting Kevin Durant to the Sixers rumors. So I need to hear that Kevin Durant rant that Alex rolled out a couple years ago. I need a refresher on that. That was a good one. So again, drop those comments into the YouTube chat while we're live here. And if you have questions throughout the day, the best place to reach me is in that Pick'em Games channel of the FTN Fantasy Discord. Let's stay in this game and stay with this team. Because I'm also a fan of Trey Murphy III and a more than selection on his 15.5 points prop here in game 4. Murphy rarely coming out of games during this series, playing all but 18 of the 144 possible minutes through the first 3 games. And Trey Murphy averaged 14.8 points per game over his 57 regular season appearances this year. Of course, was out to start the year with that meniscus surgery, but 14.8 points per game in 29.6 minutes per game across those 57 appearances. And of course, just like we talked about with CJ, right? That OKC defense is throttled up here in the postseason, but with a minutes projection north of 40 on Trey Murphy. I like the more than 15.5 points here. And so does the model. You can see a little over 18 points projected in the FTN data model here for Trey Murphy III on a more than selection of 15.5 points. So I will say the tool is interesting here, and I get it, giving us a negative 0.9% correlation bonus. So it doesn't like the correlation of saying, okay, this team that's down 3-0 and doesn't have much hope here tonight. I do think it's just a 5-point spread. Last I looked, it is still 207 implied total in that game. But I get that taking the more than on multiple Pelicans wouldn't be great in terms of the tool and the correlation there. But again, I think both of these are very strong, and we can't enter this prop anyways. We need to get a player from a different team. So we'll keep it rolling here. Again, I have no issue pairing McCollum and Murphy props together in an entry because we have to add more pieces on. And again, I think those props, the lines are just too low. And I think we'll get another line that is just a little bit too low that's been adjusted as this series has gone on. And I'm jumping to the late night hammer here with Lakers and Nuggets. Of course, Lakers able to extend the series on Saturday night, beating Denver for the first time in 12 tries. And now they got to break another streak by winning in Denver, which would be the Lakers' first win in Denver since February 2020. So that's pre-COVID times, the last time we saw Bron and the Lakers get the better of Denver on their home floor. So we're seeing a Rui Hachimura points prop of 8.5 here. I believe opened the series, I want to say at like 12.5, maybe even 13.5, and it has steadily ticked down on these prop sites here. And of course, in the player props in Vegas. Rui, he's been bad across the first 4 games, right? Especially for what you saw out of him post All-Star break when he moved into that starting lineup. The efficiency was not there through the first 3 games. And then even though game 4 was his best outing, the minutes were limited because Darvin Ham opted to roll with Taurean Prince late. Rui, in his 22 minutes, though, was a plus 13 and did score 9 points, was finally efficient with his shot, and averaged 32.3 minutes per game across the first 3 games of this series. So I don't think that all of a sudden the Lakers have this secret sauce where Taurean Prince is going to banish Rui Hachimura to low 20s in minutes for however long this series will go. So with that points prop set at 8.5, it's not just me. The FTN data model loves a more than selection here. Again, on a player who averaged 13.6 points per game over his 68 regular season appearances and just 26.9 minutes per game. So Rui Hachimura, the model has him a hair over 11 points here tonight. So that will be our third pick, a more than selection on Rui Hachimura, 8.5 points. And then I always have to at least get eyes on that fantasy score board over there at PrizePicks. So I'm going to go back to Derek White, who is set right now at 26.5 fantasy score. And he has not been great from a fantasy standpoint this series, especially if you've been with me rostering him on DraftKings over the first 3 games of this series. He's letting us down even at a discounted price point, but here at PrizePicks. Again, I think Derek White is underperforming his peripheral stats this series. He's actually shot it quite well from the floor. Not a ton of volume, of course, but in his 73 regular season games this year, Derek White averaged 9.4 rebounds plus assists and 2.2 stocks, which is steals plus blocks for the uninitiated, in 32.6 minutes per game. Again, 73 games for White in the regular season in the first 3 games of the series. Again, it's a small sample size, but Derek White posting just 6.7 rebounds plus assist and just 1 flat in terms of steals plus blocks per game. So FTN data model has Derek White. This is not a windmill slam type of play, but right around 28.5 PrizePicks fantasy score tonight. So I'm going to lock that in as a more than selection as well. That gives us 4 picks here right around lunchtime on the East Coast. So again, we're going to have more picks given out in that Pick'em Games channel of the FTN Fantasy Discord. So if you want to build, maybe you've got some plays that you're already eyeing, that you already like, and you can put 2 of those with these 4 and get that 6-pick play in there. Our 4 picks again this morning: CJ McCollum, more than 2.5 made threes. Trey Murphy, more than 15.5 points. Rui Hachimura, more than 8.5 points. And Derek White, more than 26.5 fantasy score. And again, I will remind you, if you want to get a little spicy, put that CJ McCollum demon in there. Just ratchet it up to 3.5 made threes, and that should bump you up to a 38x potential payout for a 6-pick entry there on PrizePicks. So again, you can tag me in that Pick'em Games channel of the FTN Fantasy Discord. You can tag me on Twitter at Kawaisenberg DFS if you want a second pair of eyes on some props that you are considering here today. And I'm back tomorrow with another edition of PrizePicks Prop Show here at FTNFantasy.com. Trying to get over that 63% mark again here tonight. Dip below, just down to 62.8. And almost 100 games over, or 100 games, 100 picks over 500. We're getting close there. Hopefully a good night here on Monday night. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Good luck tonight. Oh, we got a comment in here. Here we go. Can we get the models and projections to show PRA, points and rebounds, etc.? Albert, great question. As I've mentioned a couple times last week, when I like to take a look at the fantasy score props board, that's another stat that we're working on getting integrated here. A lot of moving parts with the new website, the rebrand, everything going live less than 2 weeks ago now. But I can assure you all of those things are being worked on and coming in the near future. And, if you are a subscriber here at FTN Fantasy, you would have access to those models. So while it doesn't show up in that tool quite yet, you can just go to the model pages, the projection pages, right? And little addition maybe that we have some legwork we have to do on by ourselves for now. But that's how I would direct you until we get that live in the tool. So appreciate the question, Albert. Appreciate you tuning in, and everybody else, whether you caught it live or on the replay. And again, I'll see you guys back here, same time, same place tomorrow for another edition of the PrizePicks Prop Show here at FTNFantasy.com. Good luck tonight, everybody.